Hey everyone, this is Dr. Snyder again. I'm here to tell you how to calculate a bivariate chi-square test using Microsoft Excel. We've already discussed univariate chi-square analysis this semester, and if you remember, the chi-square test just simply tells us, are the observed frequencies significantly different from what we would expect to see in each cell? The major difference between what we've calculated before and what we're going to calculate today is that with the bivariate chi-square, we're looking at two variables simultaneously rather than only one variable. So in this particular example, we're using the Purdue chicken data set. And if you remember, we had two experimental conditions. We had those people who saw the advertisement featuring a General American accent and those people who saw the advertisement featuring a Spanish accent. The second variable we're going to look at for this analysis was the question on the survey that asked the respondents, was the actor faking the accent? They were given three options: yes, no, and maybe. And so as you can see in the table from the PowerPoint slides, these are the actual observations that we made in those six categories, right? So 58% or 58 people who saw the General American advertisement said that yes, they believed the actor was faking the accent. 35 people in the Spanish category said that they thought the actor was faking the accent, and so on. So to do the analysis in Excel, I have the raw data for those two variables here for you. The first thing we have to do is organize that data into a pivot table. So we'll do that. The first step in the pivot table, like always, is to gather the actual raw data that we're going to use, and that should be placed into the table, and then to select where that table should be placed in the worksheet. And as you can see, I will be placing it in cell C1. So we hit OK, and here we have our worksheet for putting the table together. So we'll put the experimental condition along the rows, and we will place the faking variable in the columns. Just like before, the pivot table is treating the experimental condition as a continuous variable rather than a categorical variable. So what we want is not the sum of the condition, but the count of the condition. So we'll click on the information icon and then on the word count and hit OK. So here's our observed data, and as you can see, it compares it favorably to the table that we have in the PowerPoint slides, so we can move forward with our analysis. The next step in our analysis is to cut and paste our observations into two additional tables. I'm going to place the headers for the columns. Remember, the answers were yes, no, and maybe. We have the General American condition, we have the Spanish condition, we have the General American condition for the second table and the Spanish condition for the second table. We're also going to delete out the observations from our second table. We'll widen out these columns so that we can actually see the data in our columns. There we go. Now, the first thing that we have to do that's a little bit different than the univariate analysis is we're going to have to calculate our expected values, and that's why we created this last table here. I'm going to calculate the expected values into each of our categories, and we have to do that by hand. And the formula for that is the row total times the column total divided by n. So here I'll put the row totals back in. And so we have to calculate 6 expected values, and the way we do that is equals, open parentheses, the row total times the column total divided by the overall sample size. And we have to do that for each one of our 6 cells in the table. And so I'll do that here. As you can see, So there's the fourth one, and then the last two. And we did this by hand in the lecture, so we will have that data to compare our calculations here just as a way of checking our calculations. And so here in the PowerPoint slides, you can see our expected values of 48.97, 44.03, 16.85, 15.15, and so on. All of the expected values that we calculated here in the Excel spreadsheet are equal to the expected values that we calculated by hand. So just like with the univariate analysis, what we're doing is we're going to have to, or we would if we were doing this by hand, we'd have to calculate an observed minus an expected value for each of these 6 cells, and then square that value and divide it by the expected value. We would then add all of those cells up to arrive at a chi-square value. Well, fortunately, because we have some formulas in Excel, we don't have to do all of those steps by hand. Again, in the lecture, I did those steps by hand for you so that you could see step by step how the equation is built and how it plays out, but we're going to do it using formulas. Now, in Excel, they calculate the chi-square kind of backwards, because normally when you do a hypothesis test, you calculate the actual chi-square value by hand, then the degrees of freedom, and then based on that, you get your probability value. In Excel, we do it backwards. We calculate our probability value first, and so to do that, we hit equals chi-square, and we want the chi-square dot test. It's going to ask us for our actual and expected range. And so our actual range is the observations, comma, and the expected range are those expected values that we just calculated. We close out the parentheses, and it gives us a p-value of 0.03. We test that against our hand calculation, and yes, we have that. Our degrees of freedom is calculated by taking the rows minus 1 times the columns minus 1. And in this case, we have 2 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns in our table. So 2 minus 1 times 3 minus 1 is 2 times 1, or 2. Now, in order to calculate the chi-square, we can use another formula. And so we type in equals, and we type in chi-square. And the one we need is chi-square.inv.rt. That is the chi-square analysis formula. And what it's going to ask us for, and this is why we have to do our calculations kind of backwards in Excel, is it's going to ask us for our probability value and our degrees of freedom. We close the parentheses, and there you have it. We have a chi-square value of 7.08 with 2 degrees of freedom and a probability value of 0.03 that matches our hand calculations. And so just like in the lecture slides, our conclusion here is that because the probability was less than 0.05, we reject our null hypothesis. Whether the respondents believed that the actor was faking the accent did in fact depend upon the experimental condition they were in.